எளிமையான வாழ்க்கை வாழுங்கள். That is for all. Idu ululai agaturividum. Idu enadu saidi. தமிழ் இனிமையான மொழி. Honorable members of the Legislative Assembly, Vanakkam. I greet you, the members of the 16th Legislative Assembly, as you convene here for the first session, after being elected by the people of Tamil Nadu in the recent elections. This August House is a beacon of democracy, and I am confident that each one of you will perform the role expected of you as an elected member of the Assembly. The emphatic victory of the Secular Progressive Alliance, led by the David Munetokannam in this election, underscores the well thought out decision of the people of Tamil Nadu to make India a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic in the true sense as envisaged in the preamble of the Constitution of India drafted by Dr. Ambedkar. This government is guided by the spirit of the Dravidian movement and identifies social justice, gender equality, economic equity, opportunity for all through reservations, and progress through education and social reforms as its core values. These values will drive every action, every legislation, every scheme, and every initiative of the government. This is a government which always works for each and every person in Tamil Nadu, irrespective of whether they voted in its favor or not. In keeping with its inclusive ethos, this government has consulted with all stakeholders, all sets of public opinion, and all the political parties with a presence in the Legislative Assembly in formulating its response to the COVID pandemic. This government has taken office almost 3 years after passing of the great Dravidian stalwart Muthumallinar Kalaignar, M. Karunanidhi, an unparalleled leader whose career spent 6 decades in this August House. Though he is not with us in person, his values will always guide this government, building upon his unshakable faith in democratic traditions. This government will take all necessary measures to strengthen the foundation of our democracy, which is the lifeblood of any true republic. This government stands fully committed to achieving its ultimate goal of greater autonomy for states and establishment of true federalism at the union level through constitutional means. Strong states are needed to create a strong union. This government will staunchly stand in defense of the rights of the states and constitutionally oppose any infringement of such rights. At the same time, we will maintain a cordial relationship with the Union government as partners in the process of nation building. In line with our policy of extending our hand in friendship, even as we speak up for our rights. The Honorable Chief Minister, through M.K. Stalin, visited New Delhi after assuming office to call on the Honorable Prime Minister and presented a memorandum containing several requests for assistance from the Union government, including for COVID prevention activities and important projects required for Tamil Nadu's future development. Besides emphasizing the priority policy issues of the government of Tamil Nadu to the Union government, we expect that the Union government will favorably consider the requests contained in the memorandum. The huge second wave of the COVID pandemic was the immediate crisis that engulfed the country and Tamil Nadu as this government assumed office immediately after the counting of votes. Even as the newly elected party leader, the Honorable Chief Minister very rightly prioritized the battle against the COVID pandemic above all other tasks. To overcome the inertia that has set in during the election process in COVID prevention activities, the availability of medical infrastructure, including oxygen beds, has been substantially enhanced on a war footing. The unprecedented spike in the requirement of oxygen and essential life-saving drugs has been met through special efforts. Access to private medical facilities for the common man has been enhanced by liberalizing coverage for all COVID-related treatment, including for mucormycosis under the Chief Minister's Comprehensive Health Insurance Scheme. The vaccination drive has been intensified from a situation where there was considerable vaccine hesitancy. Tamil Nadu's vaccination delivery performance has improved considerably, but the allotment provided by Government of India is proving inadequate. We ask the Government of India to increase the allocation vaccine for Tamil Nadu. Doctors, nurses, other medical personnel and frontline staff of the COVID battle have been specifically incentivized. The Honorable Chief Minister, who has been continuously inspecting COVID prevention measures in all parts of Tamil Nadu in person, donned a full PPE kit and entered the COVID ward in ESI Hospital, Coimbatore, and enthused the patients undergoing treatment and greatly motivated the doctors and nurses on duty. Additional medical personnel have been mobilized on behalf of the government. I thank and appreciate all the frontline workers for their tireless and selfless efforts in combating the COVID pandemic. The special efforts of the Honorable Chief Minister have galvanized and mobilized all segments of society and even the Tamil diaspora to join the battle against COVID in Tamil Nadu. Corporate entities, small business, traders groups, non-governmental organizations, political parties, artists and volunteers are working shoulder to shoulder with the government machinery in combating the pandemic. So far 335 crore and 1 lakh rupees have poured in as contributions to the Chief Minister's Public Relief Fund from various quarters. And of this 141 crore, 10 lakh rupees has been immediately and transparently utilized for procurement of the most essential life-saving drugs and medical equipment. A further amount of 50 crore rupees will be allotted for augmenting the supply of liquid medical oxygen to government hospitals and 50 crore for preparatory activities for the anticipated third wave of COVID. Conscious of the need to preserve livelihood in the middle of the pandemic and to provide succor to the people suffering from loss of income, this government disbursed 4,000 rupees as relief assistance in 2 installments, totaling 8,393 crore rupees to all 2 crore and 10 lakh ration card holders in the state in May and June. Many leading economists in the world have emphasized when the economy has been greatly impacted by the pandemic, direct cash relief assistance to the poor is the most appropriate policy response. No? With your permission, I can remove it. Rice card holders in the state in May and June. Many leading economists in the world have emphasized when the economy has been greatly impacted by the pandemic, direct cash relief assistance to the poor is the most appropriate policy response. This initiative of the government of Tamil Nadu is keeping with such prescriptions and will stimulate consumer demand and help the economic cycle return to normalcy. Further, grocery kits worth 466 rupees each, containing 14 essential commodities, have also been provided to all rice ration card holders at a total cost of 977 crore and 11 lakh rupees. Additional 5 kilos of rice for each person in the family is being provided to all rice card holders in the state for the month of May and June at the additional cost of 687 crore and 84 lakh rupees to the state government. In keeping with the Peregrine Anna's immortal words that we will see God in the smile of the poor, a total amount of 10,068 crore rupees has been provided as livelihood assistance so far by this government after assumption of office. Medical experts have warned of a third wave of COVID. This government will take all necessary measures to counter the possible third wave. Health infrastructure is being further strengthened. All the ongoing construction projects in the health sector, including that of 11 new medical colleges, are being expedited for every completion. A new 500-bedded multi-speciality hospital will be constructed in the King Institute campus, Chennai, at a total cost of 250 crore rupees. Oxygen storage and production capacities are being further augmented in many government hospitals across the state. Private investors have been offered a special package of incentives to establish units to manufacture liquid medical oxygen and related equipment in Tamil Nadu. We welcome the decision of the Union government, heeding the voices of states, to revert to the policy of centrally procuring and supplying free of cost vaccines to all categories. We urge the Union government to ensure that adequate vaccine supplies are made available to ensure that the entire adult population of India is vaccinated against COVID before this year end. To honor the glory of Tamil language, this government will continue to urge the Union government to declare Tamil as one of the official languages of India. This government will also urge that in all union government offices, including nationalized banks situated in Tamil Nadu, Tamil must be declared and used as the co-official language. To enable this, if necessary, Article 343 of the Constitution should be suitably amended. The Central Institute of Classical Tamil in Chennai shall be revitalized, and we will impress upon the Government of India preserve its autonomy and not affiliate the institute to any other university. This government will urge the Union government to advise the government of Sri Lanka to ensure that LM Tamils have equal civil and political rights. This government will also urge the Union government make necessary laws and amendments to grant Indian citizenship to Tamil refugees from Sri Lanka. This government will accord highest priority to the effective maintenance of law and order in Tamil Nadu. A peaceful and harmonious social environment free of communal tension is absolutely vital for the development of the state. This government will ensure equity and justice for all in the state. The morale of police personnel has to be boosted to ensure effective maintenance of law and order and prevention of crime. This government believes that an integral aspect of policing is the cordial relationship between police and the people they protect and serve. Various measures will be undertaken to strengthen such bonds, including requisite training for police personnel. The grievance redressal process for police personnel will be strengthened. Compassionate ground appointments will be expedited, especially in the case of those who die in the line of duty. Government has numerous cases to expedite resolution of all cases and to actively monitor the cases in which the government is a party till their timely conclusion. Responsive governance, the watchword of the government. Already the Honorable Chief Minister has appointed a officials to resolve all the grievance petitions received during the program. Ungal, Thogudipil, Mudal Amateur. Within a period of 100 days, I am happy to inform this House that despite the pandemic, already 63,500 petitions have been resolved. The COVID pandemic had disrupted all sectors and exposed several structural weaknesses in the economy, as well as in governance structures. Such a crisis also provides the motivation and the opportunity for long overdue structural reforms. This government feels the current model of human resources management, backbone data system, and audit and oversight functions need a thorough overhaul. Simplification of methods and process while retaining and enhancing accountability will lead to improved impact for the citizens for every rupee spent by this government. This government will make all efforts to ensure transparency and accountability by promoting e-governance and providing substantially enhanced access to government services through the online mode. Online open access from anywhere will be enabled to ensure anytime, any place services are made available. New technology solutions will be adopted for timely dissemination of information of natural disaster-related news and alert messages to the public. First responders from neighborhoods, including NGOs, will be trained to handle the initial response in disasters, and their functioning will be integrated with the functioning of the government machinery in disaster response and management. Providing clean administration is the highest priority. Why you are silent? This is the priority. Providing clean administration is the highest priority. I appreciate. The Lokayukt will be revitalized and empowered to deal with complaints against public authorities, including elected representatives and government officials. The Directorate of Vigilance and Anti-Corruption will be energized and pending complaints dealt with expeditiously. The Right to Services Act will be introduced to streamline the delivery of various public services by government agencies. There can be no social justice when there is high economic inequality and stratification. Inclusive growth is thus the priority of this government. Growth and progress must benefit all of society and not just the top of the economic pyramid. In recent years, we have seen a slowdown in Tamil Nadu's economic growth rate. This government will make all-out efforts to reverse this trend and to serve in a period of rapid economic growth, taking full advantage of the available limited window of the demographic dividend to chart out a rapid and inclusive economic growth path for Tamil Nadu. This government will constitute an economic advisory council to the Chief Minister with leading economic experts from all over the world as its members. They include the Nobel laureate Professor Esther Duflo of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, USA, Professor Raghuram Rajan, former Governor, Reserve Bank of India, Dr. Arvind Subramaniam, former Chief Economic Advisor to the Government of India, Professor Jean Drèze, Development Economist, and Dr. S. Narayan, former Union Finance Secretary. Based on the recommendations of this Council, the government will revitalize the state's economy and ensure the benefits of economic growth reach all segments of the society. The fiscal health of the state is a cause for concern, and this government will focus on improving the fiscal position and bringing down the overall debt burden. As a first step, a report detailing the true state of Tamil Nadu's finances will be released in the month of July, so that the people of Tamil Nadu are fully informed. This government believes that accurate data should support all decision making, especially for decisions that allocate scarce resources among competing claims. Data-based decision making will also increase the transparency of the government's functioning in the eyes of citizens. Projects will be undertaken on the same basis, including some funded by international financial institutions. Farmers are the backbone of the country. In recognition of their role and importance, this government has renamed the Department of Agriculture as the Department of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. The emphasis will be on new technologies, new method of cultivation, and modernizing agriculture with the active participation of farmers, producers group. Ulavar, Nal Sangam, and experts. To increase farmers' income, allied activities like animal husbandry, value-added farming, organic farming, cultivation of horticulture crop will be promoted. The government will introduce a separate annual budget for agriculture with the objective of increase agriculture productivity and protecting farmers' welfare. Ulavar Sanghas, established by late Honorable Chief Minister Kalainer, will be revitalized, and more such farmers' markets will be established in the state. To protect farmers' rural market will be created under government supervision. The initiatives of supplying vegetables and fruits to people at their doorstep in vehicles during the COVID lockdown period was well received and will be continued and expanded. This government will take all steps to achieve the target of 125 lakh metric tons of food grain production during 2021-22. This year, water for Kuruvai cultivation in the Kaveri Delta has been released as scheduled on 12th June, desilting a length of 4,061 kilometers of channels has been taken up and is being completed on a war footing to ensure that water reaches the tail end areas. Management of water resources is of crucial importance to a water deficient state like Tamil Nadu. Hence, a separate ministry for water resource has been established. New legislation to regulate groundwater use will be enacted to protect the interest of farmers and common people dependent on groundwater. The energy and enthusiasm of the youth will be harnessed to restore and conserve water bodies across Tamil Nadu. This government will strive hard to protect Tamil Nadu's interest in interstate river waters issue. We strongly urge the Union government to reject the Meke-Dattu project proposed by Karnataka, which is in violation of the judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court. This government will request the government of Kerala and the Union government quickly accord the requisite clearances for carrying out the remaining work of the strengthening Mullai Periyar Dam. This government is committed to expedite Kaveri Gundaru Link project, which was commenced on 9th February 2009 by the late Honorable Chief Minister Kalainer, with the foundation stone laying for the Kattalai barrage across the Kaveri at Mayanur between Karur and Tiruchirappalli. This government is committed to complete the Athikadau Avinasi scheme under the Parambikulam LIR agreement. Kerala has completed the construction of the Idamalayaru Dam. As a follow-up, this government will initiate talks with the government of Kerala to construct the Annamalayar Dam. This government will protect the interest of our fishing community, including taking up the issue of retrieval of Kachethu with the government of India. This government will urge the Union government to devise a permanent solution to repeated instances of assault, arrest, and even loss of life of fishermen from Tamil Nadu at the hands of Sri Lankan Navy. This government will call upon the government of India to constitute a national commission for the welfare of fishermen to look into all aspects relating to the welfare of marine and inland fishermen. One of the first 5 orders of this government was the reduction in retail prices of Avin milk by 3 rupees per litre, which greatly benefited middle-class families. As a result, the sale of Avin milk in the entire state has increased by about 1,50,000 litres per day. The supply of free rice to each ration card will be continued. All eligible persons who apply for a ration card will be provided a smart card within 15 days. The procurement of commodities like pulses, palm oil and sugar under the special public distribution system, which had been launched by late Honorable Chief Minister Kalainer in 2007, has been streamlined, resulting in substantial cost saving to the public as usual. This government has constituted a committee chaired by Justice A.K. Rajan to study the adverse impact of NEET on socially, educationally backward students. Based on the recommendations of the committee, the government will introduce necessary legislation to ensure that the students of Tamil Nadu are not adversely affected by NEET and will take necessary steps to obtain the consent of the Honorable President for such legislation. The Anna Centenary Library will be renovated and revitalized. Work on a world-class public library in the name of the late Honorable Chief Minister Kalaignar at Madurai at a cost of 70 crore rupees will be commenced shortly. Consistent efforts will be made to make education for children universal and inclusive. Utmost priority will be given to providing quality education for all children studying in government schools. This government will make all-out efforts to ensure Tamil Nadu reaches the top rank in the performance grading index brought out by the Ministry of Education, Government of India, by focusing on the domain of learning, outcomes and quality, where the state's ranking was pulled down 2019-20. A mission mode project that will ensure continuity of education delivery will be implemented. ICT will be leveraged and refresher courses will be delivered to children in order to make up for learning losses during the pandemic period. Preserving lives and livelihoods during the COVID pandemic has been the priority of this government. Accordingly, factories and commercial establishments have been allowed to function. Wherever possible, strictly in accordance with the standard operating procedures, the functioning of the unorganized sector workers' welfare boards will be strengthened and the government will effectively support the members times of their need. Focused program to provide enhanced job and self-employment opportunity through skill training will be implemented. Skill training programs across government departments will be better integrated through the Tamil Nadu Skill Development Corporation. This government has taken measures to ensure the speedy revival of industries that have been hit hard by the COVID pandemic. While the Honorable Chief Minister has taken up the issue of loan repayment moratorium for small borrowers with the Government of India and the Reserve Bank of India, this government has been quick on its part to provide relief to MSMEs during the pandemic period. Additional liquidity was infused into the sector by accelerating the release of capital and interest subsidies from the state government. The time limit for payment of dues to Transitco and for renewal of 15 statutory licenses were extended. The government also extended till December 2021 the exemption from payment of stamp duty for registering memoranda of deposits while availing loans from financial institutions. The period for payment of profession tax by workers of industrial unit was also extended by 3 months. The focus of industrial policy will be on the further diversification of the industrial base of Tamil Nadu, both geographically and sectorally, and to ensure technological upgradation. An expert committee consisting of industrialists, banking and financial experts, and government officials will be constituted to formulate schemes for revival of MSMEs. Just as the late Honorable Chief Minister Kalaignar took measures to promote industrial development in the southern districts based on the recommendation of the Justice Ratnavel Pandian Committee, this government will take all necessary steps to ensure that more industries are established and employment opportunities created in the northern districts covered under the Chennai-Kanyakumari Industrial Corridor and Chennai-Bangalore Industrial Corridor, which are still industrially backward. Ensuring uninterrupted power supply to all categories of electricity consumers in the state is the foremost objective of this government. Transitco and Transco are facing severe financial crisis due to mismanagement in recent years. A detailed strategic study of the finances and governance structure of Transitco and Transco will be carried out. New power generation capacity will be added through the speedy execution of long pending power projects and by promoting renewable energy, including regeneration of old and inefficient windmills. Renewed emphasis will be placed on conservation of energy and reduction of distribution losses by use of modern technology and microgrids. This government believes strongly in the principle of local self-governance and revitalize the rural and urban local bodies in the state. Elections to rural local bodies in the remaining 9 districts and all urban local bodies were due in 2016 and not held. Necessary steps will be taken to hold elections after the intensity of the COVID pandemic subsides and after ensuring that the delimitation exercise undertaken previously is appropriate in all respects. Provision of rural housing, drinking water supply, street lights, road connectivity and recharge of water bodies will be emphasized. Ensuring supply of drinking water to each house directly in both urban and rural areas will be the highest priority of this government. This government will focus on the speedy completion of the construction of houses taken up for the poor and downtrodden in rural and urban areas. All eligible beneficiaries identified for the allotment of houses will be provided with a house. Satellite towns will be developed in suburban areas with modern amenities to decongest large cities in the state. Regional plans will be prepared to cover the entire state. The preparations of the third master plan for Chennai in consultation with all stakeholders will be completed well before the due date of 2026. The boundaries of Chennai Corporation were extended by including 42 adjacent local bodies. There are still gaps in the basic infrastructure in those added areas, which will be addressed when the Honorable Chief Minister was the Mayor of Chennai Corporation. Several steps were taken to create Singara Chennai. Singara Chennai 2 program will be launched to provide modern world-class infrastructure and services in Greater Chennai Corporation. A new model for enhanced urban governance capability, citizen-focused service delivery in key areas, including mobility and water supply, and to enhance the resilience of cities will be established. Chennai Metro Flood Management Committee, comprising experts in environment, urban planning, disaster management, will be established to devise flood control methods and design stormwater drain to reduce the detrimental impact of floods. Upgrading the highways road network will be accorded top priority. A systematic plan to upgrade, widen and strengthen major highways will be taken up. Bypasses will be formed for all major towns. Necessary steps will be taken to expedite the Madurai to Chennai Port elevated road project, which was needlessly stalled. Government led by the former Honorable Chief Minister Kalainar had initiated the work on the Chennai Metro Rail project in 2009. This government will ensure speedy completion of the Metro Rail project phase 2. We urge the Government of India to accord early approval for equity participation on 50-50 sharing basis, as was done for phase 1. Feasibility studies for mass rapid transit system for Madurai, Tiruchirappalli, Salem and Tirunelveli will be taken up. This government is also fully committed to modernize and ensure the efficient functioning of the bus transport system in the state. The Honorable Chief Minister has launched a scheme for free travel for women, persons with disabilities and transgenders in all ordinary town buses. This is an historic step which will promote greater participation of women in economic activities and increase the modal share of public transportation. A master plan for fully realizing Tamil Nadu's tourism potential will be unveiled in the current year. Heritage tourism will be given a boost by restoring and renovating old forts and palaces while retaining their originality. Tamil Nadu's Hindu Religious and Charitable Endowment Act has been a model legislation for the entire country. This government is committed to promote transparency and accountability in temple management. The assets, lands and properties of temple will be protected. A state-level advisory committee for all major Hindu temples will be constituted to enhance facilities for devotees, improving the maintenance of temples and to advise on related issues. This government will launch special initiatives to address all aspects of women well-being, development and empowerment. The focus will be on enhancing women's health status, including reproductive health care and screening against cancer. Safety of women from harassment in the workplace, protection against cyber crime, and prevention of domestic violence will be prioritized. To encourage greater work participation by women, working women's hostels will be established in every district. The self-help group movement in Tamil Nadu will be revitalized through convergence and comprehensive financial inclusion efforts. The SSG bank credit linkage will be further strengthened to increase the economic activity of this group. This government will enhance marketing linkages, including through e-commerce for products made by SSGs. Due to immortal words of Kanyan Pungdranar, Yadum Are Yaburam Yabarum Keler, we welcome people from all parts of India and indeed the world to come join a vibrant community. At the same time, this government will ensure that native Tamils, especially those that have studied in Tamil medium and government schools, are given priority in recruitment for government posts. The requisite changes to undo past orders which are contrary to this intent will be undertaken at the earliest. This government will urge the union government to ensure that people from Tamil Nadu are given priority in appointment in Government of India offices and public sector undertaking in Tamil Nadu. This government will always strive to preserve the ideals of social justice and to secure the advancement of socially and educationally backward classes. The reservation policy of Tamil Nadu is now 100 years old and it stood the test of time, delivering true social justice. The 69% reservation currently available in Tamil Nadu will be continued and protected. This government will urge the Government of India to remove the income criteria for determining the creamy layer for the Union Government's OBC reservation and in the interim to raise the current income limit of 8 lakh rupees to 25 lakh rupees. This government will also ensure that the authority of the state government to determine the backwardness of different communities is not compromised in any way. Backlog of unfilled vacancies intended for Adi Dravidas and scheduled tribes in government jobs will be filled through a special recruitment drive. The process of issuing scheduled tribe certificates will be simplified and expedited. Modern solid and liquid waste management technologies and equipment will be fully deployed to ensure a safe and hygienic working environment for sanitary workers. This government will act on the basis of the Structure Committee recommendations and more effectively implement schemes for educational advancement, economic empowerment, greater access, housing for minorities. The land of the Waqf Board will be protected through necessary administrative and legal action. The Honorable Chief Minister has retained the portfolio of the welfare of the differently abled with himself, indicating the importance this government accords to ensuring the welfare of this most vulnerable group. The provision of the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016 will be implemented with greater effectiveness. The Department of Differently Abled Welfare will be significantly strengthened with greater field presence to ensure benefits of various care, rehabilitation and support programs reach the differently abled. The late Honorable Chief Minister Kalainer coined the term Thiru Nangai for transgender for the first time in 2008. He established the Thiru Nangai Welfare Board and implemented welfare schemes through the board. In order to improve the lives and livelihood of Thiru Nangai, skill training will be provided for increasing job opportunities and self-employment activities. Pursuit of sports and games improves physical and mental well-being of individuals and society. High performance coaching, cash incentives, travel expenses for participation in competition would be provided for the athletes from the state, enable them to win more medals in Olympics and other international competitions. Recruitment of a sport person and a sports quota in government department will be effectively implemented. This government fully recognizes the important role government officials play in ensuring that the benefits of government scheme reach the people. This government will ensure that the welfare of government officials and pensioners is fully protected. The new health insurance scheme for government officials and pensioners will be implemented with substantially enhanced benefits. The government is determined to overcome all the challenges it faces and provide effective governance and rekindle economic growth in the state across all sectors. Ultimately, this government would govern for the people and ensure that the benefits of social justice and economic development reach all segments of society. In this address, I have outlined various policy initiatives that the government intends to implement in furtherance of the promises that have been made to the people of the state. More such initiatives will be outlined in the ensuing budget as well. People of this state have voted each one of you to this August House with very high expectations. I have no doubt that all of you will work hard to fulfill these expectations and will constructively contribute to democratic debate, discussion and interpellation in keeping with the great traditions of the Tamil Nadu Legislative Assembly. This government will be driven by the fundamental principle of social justice, everything for everyone, and will serve as a government for all. This will be This will be a people's government and not a party's government. This government will govern in a manner that all the people in the state will be united in proudly and wholeheartedly proclaiming it our government. This government is determined to transform Tamil Nadu into a state with a society with self-respect, with an empowered citizenry, enjoying their rights, which is prosperous in all respects, as envisioned by Thantai Periyar. Marching forward along the path laid down by the incomparable Dravidian ideologue and the architect of modern Tamil society, Mutmil Arignar Kalainar, we will elevate the state to a level where all states in India will look up to Tamil Nadu. We will establish beyond doubt our beloved Tamil Nadu is an unparalleled state in India. I conclude this address by seeking the cooperation of each and every one of you in this endeavor. Nandri Vanakkam.
பதினாறாவது சட்டப்பேரவை கூட்டத்தொடர் ஆளுநர் பன்வாரிலால் புரோஹித் உரையுடன் தொடங்கி நடைபெற்றுக் கொண்டிருக்கிறது. எளிமையான வாழ்க்கை வாழுங்கள், இது ஊழலை அகற்றிவிடும், இது எனது செய்தி என்று ஆளுநர் உரையை தொடங்கினார். 16வது சட்டமன்றத்துக்கு தேர்வான உறுப்பினர்களுக்கு ஆளுநர் வாழ்த்துக்களை தெரிவித்துக் கொண்டார்.
உடனுக்குடன் செய்திகளை தெரிந்து கொள்ள சன் நியூஸ் பெல் ஐகானை கிளிக் பண்ணுங்க.